This is the main site that we're going to look at during this video, and if you've been looking at this stuff as long as I have, the narrative is that this thing was carved from the ground down, just like the site I just showed you there at Aloria. But it's clear to see that this was covered in mud, and that's what I have presented before. It is basically what has happened to the site. We can see that at some point they dug their way through this and managed to find a specific area. They call them churches. There's 7. I've got about 5 of them to show you here. Now, in my opinion, what has actually happened here is that it's been built from mud. You're basically looking at mud huts on a massive scale with wooden framing. That might sound silly to some of you, but I'm going to show you the evidence for that, which is undisputable. And most of these sites, or let's say a tsunami came in and smashed the surrounding area with mud and covered the rest of it. Okay? So what I mean by mud huts on a massive scale, basically you would build a wooden skeleton and then you would smother that in mud, silt, whatever the surrounding area had, and then it hardens. I have got ancient and modern examples for you to look at to prove this. Now, I know some of the argument that people use against this to say that it's been built with blocks, and that's because of the outer post that you're looking at. That's just where archaeologists have just come in and tidied up the area and they've rebuilt it that way. Whether that's to deceive people or not, or maybe it's just to show the area up, they've got visitors going there. But the overall structure is built exactly the same way as what I've just been showing you. Exactly what the area that I'm pointing out with the arrow is there, I'm not too sure. I've seen a few shapes like that on the ground where they've been excavating this, so there's obviously a lot more still to dig out of these areas. I have seen pictures of them where they've built steps and they've been going underground looking at this, so who knows just how much more is buried, but the entire thing was built out of mud. If you look over on the right hand side of this picture, those are not just fancy images to imitate more houses, right? So there's obviously a lot more underground. But in terms of these paintings, you can see how fresh they are. So Again, how long does paint last? Has this been done by archaeologists, or is this event taken place pretty recently? I'll leave that in your hands.